Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.
What's up, y'all? I think Carl is frozen. Well, that's tech for you, and welcome to our final show for 2021. I'm just trying to see what's going on with Sir Carl. I told him about that background. He ain't listening, but hopefully that's not what's going on. He's going to refresh and come back in. I just wanted to thank y'all for joining us, and hopefully y'all are ready for today. Today is all about making sure that we are ready when 2022 comes. We don't want to do the same manual draining task. If that's not something that's in your heart, your passion, then let's find a better way. So one of those ways is to get automation in your life, and I'm so excited. Excited. I'm telling you, excited to have Carla Eskin here, because she's actually going to make sure that you are knowing why you need to be automated, how to get automated, and of course, is email really dead, or are we just still listening to the same old, have people getting us excited, and then we're ignoring what we really need to have? So I'm going to bring Carla in, and we're going to wait for Carl. Carl's going to jump back in later. But Carla, welcome to the show.
Hey, hello, Charlene. I am so excited to be here. This is also my last virtual event before the new year, so great to get started. Can't wait to talk to you about more about automation.
Yeah, so I want the people to really know about you, how you even got started and so passionate about automation. Because when I met you through Clubhouse, and I'm sitting here, I'm listening, I'm like, okay, somebody else talking about email. Because at that point, it was all about social media. You don't need nothing else. You just need a funnel and social media. But then where you taking people after that? What's the adventure like with your business, with you as a business owner? What's that adventure like? So to hear you as one of the few people that was really starting to emerge on in that space to really get into the purpose of what automation is, what does it look like? Because we think, oh, we just have a bot talking to people. No, you can still be you. But I just wanted you to get into that for us.
Yeah, perfect. So, in the digital marketing space, email has been kind of put on the shelf as the stepchild, and I kind of got into this in the back way. I was a business coach, and I created marketing plans for business owners, women entrepreneurs. And so, one of the things that I recognize is that they were really struggling with the tech side of things, getting the actual funnels built. Um, Picking a platform, sending the emails, all of those good things. And so I kind of stepped away from business coaching and stepped into the tech side of things. I have a background in computer science. And so it's always been a natural gift for me. Computers, I've always enjoyed them. And so I was like, hey, there's a need there. There's not
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people in that look like me that are doing this for women. Um, and so I stepped into the role. And so what I found is that there are a few women doing it, but they're not being very visible and vocal about it. And so I was like, hey, let me fill the gap, and kind of stepped into it that way.
And I'm glad you said that, because email is not new. It's just people have been
Yeah.
going away from it because I feel like they've always been looking for something quick, something easy. And even though with text messaging marketing coming in, it's still the same purpose. It's still the same focus to get people to connect with you, to talk with you, and for you to really have that constant connection without relying on social media or another platform that's really building on algorithms, and it's always going to switch and swap for their purpose. At the end of the day, they say they're helping the small businesses, they're helping businesses, they're helping the users, but it's really to help them guide and figure out how the platform is being used and how they think people really want to use the platform, because we always hear the aches and the moans when algorithms mess up your flow. But with
Right.
email, and you kind of get that long term, because you can still see instant responses if you do it right, but you also build that long term communication. And communication's been such a huge part of the discussion in 2021. How do you see that happening through automation, especially once we start to go into 2022? And welcome back, Sir Carl.
Uh-oh. Now your audio.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ooh, your audio. I think it's those headphones. Mute yourself. Okay, go back. Go back, Carla.
All right. So with 2022 being right around the corner, automation is going to be important as always, because our time is way more valuable. We've learned that lesson through this pandemic, and automation allows you to focus on the things that are important to you, and then allow the technology to fill in the gaps. So when when you're automated up, which is my brand name, then you can be the CEO of your business, you can be the mom, you can be the wife, you can be other things, and not just the admin in your business. If you're doing everything manually, you're chasing down invoices, you're chasing down leads, you're struggling to fulfill your obligations when a person joins your list. Then you're trying to reach out to them manually. It's a headache, and it's a huge waste of your energy and your brilliance to spend your time doing those kind of things. So that's why I love automation. It allows me to service people and still show up on Clubhouse, show up here on LinkedIn, and show up on the social media platforms, drive traffic to my email list, and nurture people there.
And I think people get it confused. You don't have to replace them. You just have to allow them to work together more efficiently. And you
Right.
do a great job with, especially your email course, really guiding people through the purpose and the action steps that they can take. What are the two main issues that you see people are going through when they're trying to implement automation?
The two biggest things that I see, number one, the tech is not connected properly, and so they are either having to manually adjust it, or they don't have it at all. The next problem is inconsistent. So they start an email list, send out an email, then they forget, they get busy, don't send out another one. 6 months pass. Oh, I do have an email list, but I haven't sent anything to them,
Mhm.
and now I want to promote to them. Like, no, you can't do that. You got to nurture the relationship consistently over time. So those
Yes,
are
and
the biggest
I've
things.
been guilty of that too. I've been guilty of building it because I was, excited, but then I didn't have a plan. I didn't structure it. And then I didn't have a sequence in place. So if I had something, it would be a 3-day sequence. Once that was done, I was like, I don't know what to send. I don't know what to say to y'all. So how can we really get that conversation going? And then I'll have Carl jump in with his own questions. I'm sure he got questions.
Yeah, perfect. So you want to have a plan. So as you're figuring out, because there's some background information and some foundational things you have to do, like figure out your content pillars, figure out your offers, your goals, and so that you can formulate a plan so that when they join your list, and like you said, they go through that nurture sequence, they maybe go through your sales sequence, Then they go into your general broadcast list. And so they are getting these emails. I like to do them once a week. If you just really, really time strap, do a full newsletter at least once a month.
Mhm.
But in those emails, you want to deliver valuable content, strengthen the brand relationship. You want to, like they say, entertain. You want to educate, and you want to entice with your offers. So think about your content pillars. Mix with those three caveats: entertain, educate, and entice. And then each week you're putting together a email. I would do a maybe a themed month where we're talking about, for me, maybe ideal clients. And so all that month the emails are revolving around that, and then the next month it might be a different um, content pillar.
I love that. I love that. Before I ask my next question, Carl, you want to test your audio again and ask a question? You muted.
We're not hearing you, Carl.
We I'm telling you, it's that those headphones. Okay, so I feel like we going back and forth with the first show again. Hold on. Call back. Call back.
Can y'all hear me?
Now we can hear
Yeah.
you. Lord, have
Hey,
mercy.
hey, I'm here. I'm here. It's Christmas time.
Okay, he got a new set of headphones.
I had a new
Okay,
set. I got like five of them around here, so we
good
gonna get it in.
Lord.
We gonna get it
Well,
in
that's
a
gonna
minute.
be 2022 and a new investment in better headphones.
Look. Good morning, everybody. I know y'all didn't hear me. I gotta make my noise before I get on. Carla, I understand this email list and doing it right. I got a lot of questions about the email. Well, not a lot of questions, just a couple of questions I want to ask you about the email list. I got potential um, emails from like when you're doing this automation, and I know you're talking about the plan and the content pillars and those
Mhm.
things of that nature. When you have those in effect and you got a lot of emails, yeah, Ebony, I'm back. Thank you, girlfriend. When you get those and you have a lot of emails, like I got emails from a lot of people in a lot of different areas, right? So I've tried to put them in a well, I've started. It's so many. I've started to do an Excel sheet for them. Now, I haven't been. These are not just people that just send me emails. They've been correspondence. Maybe they've been on the show. Maybe we've passed off notes. Maybe I've zoomed them. Those kind of things. How do I particularly get those people now that I haven't really garnered those close relationships, such as maybe you and I and Charlene has? But how can I get them with my process of saying I got a boot camp coming out in 2022? I got a course that I'm running January 2020. How can I get them to start being filtered into that right off the bat now that it's this time and this late in the game?
Well, there's two things here, Carl. First of all, before you legally, we got the legal aspect. Before you can send marketing emails, you have to get their permission. So
Okay.
if you just connected with them and at a networking event, or like let's have coffee, and you haven't gotten explicit permission to send those email marketing, you want to send them through that channel. So if you
Okay.
have a free offer, send them, hey, I got this guide, I think you'd love it. Let them opt into your list, and then you can start that conversation. So that's the first thing. Number two is you want to segment the list. So you may not want to promote the same items to the same group of people.
Right.
So you want to tag them to segment them, maybe based on your association. So if it's a colleague, I don't, my colleagues don't want to send all of my, you know, promotional emails.
Right.
So I've tagged them a certain way so that they are not tagged as a lead, and they're not getting those promotional emails. Like I say, if I send out something and they decide they see my social media and they decide to join my list, then I'll put them in that. But I just want to respect them and not send them those kind of emails, even if they're in my system. So I tag them a certain way. So once you've gotten that permission to market to them, then you would just open it up like you would to any of your leads, because they've expressed interest in what you have to offer.
I
Awesome.
love that
Awesome.
because
Yeah, I like that.
that I went through a certification with Get Response, and that was a lot of segmenting was a lot of the conversation and permissions. And I don't remember her last name, but Anne, she helped co-write the actual legislation
Mhm.
to make sure that people are doing email marketing properly. And the amount of knowledge she was dropping alone, not only did it confirm what I already knew, but it also gave some light to how to properly get people on your email list. And I know a lot of times we test a lot of technology, so we're moving lists from one place to the next. So it's the law that you're not breaking it, you're not annoying your customers. Two, and three, you want to make sure that you're sending out something meaningful. So with that, even with the segmentation, I see a lot of big time people not doing that properly. They're not segmenting properly. They're sending the same email. They're sent like, if I'm already opt in, why are you sending me an email to say, hey, did you opt in yet? You already opt in. You better tag me as somebody who opted in already. Yes, Ann P. Mitchell. Thank you so much, Cass. So,
Yeah.
and I want to say good morning to everybody dropping in. And a lot of this conversation came at a great time because I remember watching Gabe's show, Gabe Leal. He did a great show on Friday with Travis. He had Garen in and a fella named Don, and they were talking a little bit about this. So for you, when you're automating and you're trying to get people in, especially if you're doing a show, you're doing lives, you're trying to get guests on, and you want to also add them somehow to your email list, segmentation is a great way to do that. So what have you seen in your use of that with segmenting that has really proved to you like, yeah, this is the way to go?
I made a post yesterday on my IG. So after this, if you guys check it out, but I did a video showing some open rate. The industry standard of open racing is about 18%. Mine range from about 35% all the way up to 88, 89%. And that's because of segmentation. Some emails only go out to certain groups. So that makes the engagement higher, the open rates higher, because I'm sending certain emails to the people they pertain to most. So that's one of the great things about segmenting. And Charlene, I want to kind of get back to your statement about people sending you new opt-ins. And the reason a business would do that is because maybe they have this special offer they're rolling out, so they're launching something different, and they want to see if you're interested in this new product they're offering. So they may send you a new opt-in that's aligned, so they can further segment you. Like, she's not interested in, like, if I decided I was going to start sending emails about my VA services and I send it out to the list, here's a 10-point guide on how to best use a VA. If you don't sign up for that, then I know not to send you any emails about VA services. So sometimes they try to get you to opt in to a vertical, I should say, a vertical, to see if you're interested. So that may be what they're doing when they send you that second opt-in. I
No,
don't know. That's
no,
what
no, sis. I wish it was that high tech. No. I wish it was that well thought out. No. It's literally
it's
the
funny because
exact
I was
same
just
thing.
building a funnel last night with that very segment. So an email will go out to your regular list to see if they're interested in this new vertical, and then they'll get funneled into the launch emails if they opt in. So again, another way to just kind of to segment further after people have joined your list.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, I thinking about the funnels and those they become pesky, right? I got a particular, well, two or three particular ones that I've opted in the beginning, right, to get on. I like what they were saying. I was interested in a couple of PDFs that they had, and now I can't get rid of them. I've unsubscribed, and they didn't continue. I don't know how they got around the unsubscription, but I've unsubscribed because I was getting something from them on a daily basis, and
Mm.
it was not correspondence as to like regular, but it was something being offered every day. Now, when you get these kind of repetitive things, is that I guess I answer my own question in this. I guess that's a poor example of segmenting because you're giving me, even if you have them many offers or you got those many specials coming out, How do you kind of place those on your own calendar where you can see on the back end that yo, I'm sending this dude an email every day, and I'm not opting into them as now part of. I've kind of got them on the spam within my email because they came so frequently. And the bad thing about it is that it's good information, but the way that they're over flooding me with it's kind of like chaotic, and I'm tired of hearing that. How do you go
Let
about
me
that where
ask you
you
a
don't
question.
become that nuisance?
Right. So let me ask you a question. Were these emails early on in your opt-in, or had
No, no, I actually still get some now. Like if just say, actually, I just got one yesterday from them, but I used three different emails for those kind of things, so it's pretty easy to get my other emails to kind of do that with. I got one yesterday. They're starting something in January. In relations to a course that they have, a mini course is what it is, and they told me about the mini course like a couple of months ago, and I responded in it, even though I unsubscribed. I responded and said, "No, I'm not interested. Don't worry about sending me anything like that." Then I clicked unsubscribe in that particular email. So I was like,
Mhm.
maybe it didn't go through when I did it, broadly. And yesterday I got something from them. It was talking about this mini course, and I'm like, okay, they're not getting the picture. Sort of like I can understand what Charlene says. Sometimes it goes a little past that
Mhm.
initial kind of like I got you in. Like at this point, it's how do we not become the nuisances as well? Because I think people don't really have a understanding, such as this is your forte, how this automation really needs to actually work for you. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of people are putting people off by not understanding the fullness of what this can do for your company. And I want to understand the fullness because I'm not automating.
Right. So I asked you how long you've been in their funnel for a couple reasons. Because when you initially join, you're
Mhm.
going to get those emails every day, every other day,
Okay.
acclimating you to the brand, right? Telling you the brand story, delivering some valuable content. So that first 2 weeks, expect to receive emails maybe a little bit more frequently.
Okay.
After that, the only other time they should be that frequent is maybe when you're in a launch. So you have a big launch coming up. Those emails are going to be a little bit more frequent, like every day, every other day, for the duration of the launch. Most people do email launch campaign, maybe a week or two. Other than that, then I like the frequency of once a week, once every other week, or once a month. Um, I try not to send more than one in a week if unless I'm in that lunch period. So whoever that is, there's a couple things going on. The unsubscribe should work because that's a legal requirement, that you have that option there and that you take them off. Um, but what I've seen some of the big brands do, and it's sometimes kind of annoying, they'll have you subscribe to all of these different like categories.
Yeah, I think that's what it got me. I was thinking that as you was rolling through your explanation, I was thinking of that because I did when I got the initial log. It was about like 6 or 7 boxes, right? So I
Hmm.
did check those because they had information. And I said, "Oh yeah, I may want to know something about that later
Right.
on." So, but when I hit the unsubscribe, now you actually kind of unfolding it for me. When I hit the
Mhm.
unsubscribe, it was only to that one particular thing.
Type of email,
Okay,
right.
I got you. I got you.
And so sometimes
I
you gotta
got you.
go
Because
in
I was
and
gonna say people still send.
right, you
Yes, I'm
gotta
sorry.
go
Go
in
ahead.
and unsubscribe from all of their communications, and yeah, it
Okay.
can be real annoying sometimes.
Super annoying. And what I also notice is one what I want to say it's a downfall is that people are not cleaning out the email list. So a lot of times if you especially if you're on a service where you have to pay for your subscribers, you're paying for a dead list if people are not opening, they're not opting into anything, they're not transitioning through the different phases that you have. So how do you go about doing a spring cleaning of sorts of your email list?
Yeah, I like to keep my list pretty lean. So I try and clean it at least once every 6 months. Like if they haven't opened the email in 6 months, then most likely they are not interested anymore. So you can
Mm.
send them that Dear John kind of email, where you're saying, "Hey, I noticed I haven't heard from you, or you haven't opened. Are you still interested in the service? If so, go ahead and download this new guide I created." That puts them back into a nurture sequence. Those who don't take it, I go ahead and remove them from my list, because if they're truly interested, they'll come back and re-opt in.
Facts, facts. And I always like that where I can send off a nice little message. It's like, hey, haven't heard from you in a while. Just want to make sure you're still interested, and then give them a button to say opt
Right.
in or whatever. So those are some cool ways to make sure that they're engaging. Because I did an audit with Active Campaign. They were very nice to get on the phone with me, and we did an audit. And they actually told me better ways to do it, because I used to have multiple lists. And they were like, no, just keep one main list and then tag people differently. So now you can send out emails based on tags.
Right.
So do you know of other ways? Because I know I saw a question by Ebony. I want to make sure that we address her question. And she was like, any other great ways to segment your list? Because she does
All
hers
right.
by client avatar and coaching program.
You can also some email marketers, they will segment you by how long you've been on their list. So like one of the platform I use, which is Keep, it'll have new leads and it'll have leads, because the new leads, you don't want to necessarily send them all the promotional emails and they just join your list and you're just kind of still building that relationship. So that's another way you can have them segmented by how long they've been on your list, how long they've been in your programs, so that you can then promote to them in that way. If they've been in, say, your group coaching program and you want to upgrade them to the mastermind, then you want to send that only to the people who maybe been in your group coaching program for maybe a year. So there's different ways you can use segmentation like that. And on the campaigns, you can actually have it automated where it adds tags and remove tags if your software allows it.
Love that. Love that. I hope that gave people some ideas, especially you, Ebony. But when we're doing things in 2022, we don't have to keep doing it same old, same old. Just find new ways. We can find other industries. One thing that I do notice is that a lot of folks will look at I'm going to say a store or a shop's way of doing email marketing. Now they will do it differently. They'll email you every day because they see it works. But that's for stores a lot of times. That's for industries that have multiple vast amount of products to really allow you to say, oh, they're doing this week they're doing I'm going to take Vitamin Shop for an example. This week they're doing a lot of muscle building attributes and stuff and products. So they have all these sales. So now they're going to hit us Monday morning. They hitting us with that sale. Tuesday, they giving us that reminder. Wednesday, they say, "Oh, wait a minute, here's a product. This is our showcase product." Thursday, they got something else. So their purpose is to send it every day, but they're doing it with a focus in mind. Now you'll have coaches or you'll have consultants or anyone else who will take that same model, pay attention to how it's getting done, and then just like, oh, I got to email you every day. It's like, no, you don't, because you're talking about maybe one thing. So you don't have to email me every day. I don't need to know a mindset hour. I don't need a mindset hour every day in my inbox, because that's when people start to feel inundated with all this stuff and they're trying to clear out their inbox, and you're just sending them stuff every day. No opt-ins. You're not giving them a way to do anything else, a way to even do business with you. So how can we take ideas from other industries but implement them properly for our businesses?
Well, one of the things you want to do, Charlene, is when someone joins your list, you want to go ahead and prep them. That should be one of the first emails. Let them know how frequent their emails will be. So like I know there are brands who have like this daily email that goes out, every morning, that may be like something inspirational, but people know they're opting in for this daily tip or this daily reminder, whatever it is. So they expect it. If you haven't told them that's what you're going to do, then you haven't built that expectation. And so they're going to be put off by that. I know Nordstrom is going to email me every day, several times a day. I know that.
Yeah.
And I'm prepared for it. If I get tired of it, I put them in the junk for a while. So you got to set that expectation up front of how often you're going to send. People have gotten savvy. They know when you're in a launch, um, and they know that those emails are going to be more frequent. If they
Mhm.
opt out during your launch, number one, kind of try to spread your launches out. But if they opt out during the launch, I'll say, no sweat off my back. They weren't probably going to buy anyway. So you have to have those regular cycles and those expectations. And you can tell your people, be upfront, with them about what's going on. You're going to get emails a lot more frequent because they want you this program, blah, blah, blah. Just work it into your copy.
I love that.
Yeah, that's good. So when you what is some of the just say like I guess not without going into so much automation 101, but what are some of the simple things that someone is not familiar with? And I always put myself in this category because I'm learning a lot of these things through Charlene and what she shows me and tells me. Because I wasn't automated nothing. I had a phone and I thought that was automation before the pandemic came in. So as far as understanding the dynamic of it, I'm like Joe Schmo. What are some of the simple things, without going too in depth with that? What are some of the simple things that I can do from a perspective of me just being an entrepreneur and want to get my feet wet into it? I know eventually when clients rise, revenue rise, and task rise, you also want to go out and outsource that. But what can I do now where I can get a client every couple months, or every a couple clients a week? How can I kind of just get my feet wet into that automation as far as diving into it?
All right. So you want to have the nurture sequence we've been talking about. Every
Okay.
business owner should have that. So when a person joins your list, they should get those emails telling them about who you are, what they can expect, what you offer, all of those things. The second campaign you want to have is, I call it a fulfillment campaign or onboarding campaign. So they bought your product. What happens next? Don't have them just sitting there. Go ahead and automate the process because you're gonna get busy. You're gonna be doing other things. Oh, I forgot to send them the login, or I forgot to send them the link to the download or to the video they need to watch.
Mhm.
Go ahead and automate that process so that it triggers when they buy that product, and they automatically get that onboarding email or a couple of emails. And then you should automate the offboarding process. When you're done, go ahead and have an automation. You can click a button, send out an email, ask for those testimonials, ask for those referrals, offer a higher tier product if you have that. But go ahead and automate, get those things set up. It's a lot more simple than you think so that you can easily board and outboard people and not have to kind of do all those things manually.
Gosh, good
Love that.
stuff.
Yes,
Yes, good
yes.
stuff.
And
Good stuff.
with SMS text messaging coming in, that everybody's saying, oh, you get a bigger open rate. You get a bigger open rate. Now I know how my actions are when I see a text message. I see a text message, I look at it, I'm like, of course I'm gonna open it. Depending on who it is, who I see it from, I'll open it and say, oh, what is this? So for me, that's where the high rates of open rates come in, is because you just curious, you just want to see it. It's not like you're so gang ho to do it. My question is, are the numbers out there? Because I haven't paid close attention to it, but are the numbers out yet to show what are the conversion rates? So we know the open rates are high. What are the conversion rates as well?
Well, right now the stats say that people are 10 times more likely to purchase your offer if it comes through text,
Okay.
and that has a lot to do with more people are seeing it, right?
Mhm.
So if you have 98% of the people seeing it, then of course you're going to have a 10x purchase rate. If you think about email marketing, it's about a 5% is like high end when it comes to conversion rate. The average is probably 1% of those who open. So if you have 100 people who open that email, the buying percentage is one person buys. So, but if on your text message list, which it's a lot more work to get those phone numbers, and it's a lot more work to keep people on your text message list. Because I'll join the text message list, get 3 texts, and be like, I'm tired of this, and opt out.
Facts.
Right.
Yep.
So harder to get them and it's harder to keep them. So you have to kind of have them working in tandem. You have to have both your email list working and your text message list working, so that you are maximizing your opportunity to get in front of them. So while text is great, you're not going to have as many people on that list as you will on your email list.
Yeah,
So
because
would you
I'm
say
with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that text. I won't just hit on that real quick because I get them every single day, and I respond back to some of them. Like, who are you? Like I just respond back because you give them so, and I can see you open it a lot because I open up a text quicker down there than I will an email, and I'm just kind of leery with email because the viruses and a couple of incidents I didn't had and infected my whole network. So I'm
Mhm.
kind of like leery on the email. So you're not gonna get me to open those up unless I've seen some traffic or I've kind of like recognize it. I mean, you still can get had, but the text, I open it up on my phone in a heartbeat, and I'll text back a lot of time. Who are you? What you want? Like, in the essence of that, because they just send that stuff so randomly to you. It's annoying.
Yeah.
and a
And
lot of
with
the
that,
numbers are
also the
random.
legality,
Oh, go
right.
ahead, Carla.
So they have to get your permission. They have to get your permission for the text message list as well. They
Okay.
can't assume because you join their email list that they can put you on the text list. So if you don't explicitly say I want that text, then they are out of compliance, and the fine is about $500 to $1,500 per text.
Carl, I'm
Now,
gonna tell
can
you,
can you say
I
that
work
one more
illegal.
time?
No,
Can you?
I'm a Carl, I work illegal. These people don't pay attention. I done told I'm on the do not call list and they call my number. These people don't pay attention to this
That
stuff and
that's
they
why I
don't be
want that's why I
caring.
want Carla to repeat this because we're not dealing with rogue folks. This is real talk. We talking to
Right.
folks who are about their business. They want to
Yes.
succeed, and
Mhm.
you want to make sure that what you're doing is in compliance. So, Carla, can you hit
Yes.
them again with that information?
Right. So there's a lot of legalities. There's more legalities, of course, around text message marketing than email marketing,
Mhm.
because it is so intimate, right?
Yeah.
And so if I join your list and I happen to put my phone number, but I don't say add me to your text message list, then you can't text me. And if you do, then there you is all they have to do is send out this little form, and you are liable for $500 to $1,500, and that's per incident. There's also time limits where you can only text between 9 a.m. I think and 9 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. And if you text outside of those hours, then you're liable for that fine as well. And this
Mhm.
is their time, not yours, their time. And so you need a platform that's sophisticated enough to recognize, oh, this particular number belongs to a East Coast time. It's too early. We'll hold this until it's the appropriate time. Right?
Man, I
'Cause
got
I had a friend, she said she got one at like 4:30 in the morning. She's on the West Coast, they're on the East Coast. And so they were already out of compliance in their area, but they were way out of compliance in her
Yeah.
area.
So I think you could start like 8, right? I used to work at collections. That was one of my first
Yeah.
college jobs, and I used to work for Honda Financial. I used to do collections, and we couldn't like call if I can remember the FDCA, whatever the rules is. It's been such a while. The guidelines we couldn't call certain areas for collections till 8:30, and like that
Mhm.
was mostly from our time, and we had a lot of West Coast people. We couldn't hit those accounts till the afternoon, and everyone kind of like knew that. But we did have some, and I'd received some in the course of just time and just owing and just forgetting about bills or forgetting the timeline on things. I've gotten calls that they've been like as soon as I get up in the morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning, and like so they be really prepped or they be really pushing the envelope on the legality part of that because it just frankly speaking 99.9% people are not going to follow that up.
Right.
They're just not. So that those laws and that capacity and that compliance actually gets played with more than we want to tend to actually
Right.
say because they push those envelopes and it's no really recourse beside what's written because people don't follow it up. It's just like, customer service said, okay, we'll do your return. And you get there and be like, oh, you got to get a store credit. But that ain't what
Mhm.
you told me, in the return. I don't want nothing else from your
Mhm.
store. I want my money back. So they kind of get you in the boxes like that. But I'm glad that we're talking about the truest form of them so we can stay in compliance, because I don't want nobody getting on this show next year talking about something. Yeah, man, y'all told me about these automations, man, and my stuff in jail. I can't even automate nobody.
Yeah,
Man.
you gotta do your research. You gotta now know the ramifications. There's certain things you can't send emails and texts about. Where like text, you can't send anything about drugs or cannabis or sex, or there's certain things you cannot send text that you can get away sending via email. So do your research and understand your industry, what's required, and all of those things. Because this is strictly advice. I'm not a legal professional.
Yes,
This is
Yes,
just
let's put that disclaimer
yeah.
out
They
there.
put that.
We are
Put that
giving
disclaimer up. This nothing that's said on the Real Talk. This is where we'll recognize real. Now look at it in the framework of what we talk about. Everything on here is just advice. We're not giving you any legal advice, financial advice. We don't have accountants and lawyers on here. Though I'm studying to be one, I will never give anyone legal advice on the aspects of any platform. That's just not what attorneys do. So I definitely won't do that. Now I'll make a commercial and all of that and tell you what I offer, but I will not give you any advice as to what to take. And that's what Carla really is saying. She's just giving you some things that she's been in the industry. She knows the ups and the downs. She knows the game, so to speak. And she's giving you the truthful, rightful, honest way that if you want to do this like this, you can be successful. Everything doesn't have to be shortcut. There are a lot of things that work if you take the steps and put the time and the work and the effort in.
yeah.
It pays off for you. And that's really what we're saying in that. So we want to make sure you guys get the disclaimer.
Definitely. And if you want to learn more about the legal ways and why it's being done, look up Ann P. Mitchell. She helped co-author the actual law that we are all now bound to follow. So you might as well just go to the woman who's helping to write this, and she's also helping to educate us. So I just wanted to also put that out there. And please make sure, if you are not already, connect with
Connect with
Carla.
Carla,
You
yes.
need to get into Carla's DMs,
Yeah.
connect with her at carla10k.com, and make sure that you are actually following her. Jump on her email list so you can see how she do it, and then you
Yeah.
can do it right.
That's it. That's it. You get a prime example.
right. I'm
Man,
actually sending out an email as soon as we get off here. I got one I got to send out.
See, we gonna get to school, and you guys go. I know. I'm looking toward that avenue as well, Carla. Coming into the year 2020, it's a lot of things that I got definitely with this law school. I've got to get off my plate because, like, mentally wise, I'm just kind of like overload, trying to do a lot of things on my own. So it's definitely got to make some commitments, some investments to moving forward in that direction. Other than that, it's just going to be a burnout. I know I operate well with chaos all around me, but after a while, it catches up with you. And you need that because you cannot remember everything. And as much as I love to remember and recall things to people, places and things, I can't remember everything. And I forget appointments and I forget to log in stuff and send those things. So it's very important to run a business. Any business that you're dealing with, and you talk about Northstroms, I'm a Macy's dude, and Macy's, oh my God, they flood me. I just had 2 texts now. They talking about 60% off holiday stuff. So they definitely sending you stuff all the time. But we definitely
man,
want people to connect with you so they can get what they need for their businesses. And you walking them through, just hearing some of the things that you talk about. I thought I was back in school because you have that professor mentality where I'm gonna get you this knowledge. If you follow it, you'll pass my class. If you don't, you get.
Carl, let me tell you, I was a teacher for over a decade.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel the way that you talk about, the way that you explain. It's sort of like you going through the curriculum. You talking about each and every step. I got an eye for that. I tell you, I'm smarter than the average bear, boo boo. I know you thought that, Charlene. I know you thought.
I ain't saying nothing. I ain't say a word. And
She
I
liked to
saw
mess with me.
Daniel also say you want to connect with Carla, so I'm gonna drop her
Yes,
LinkedIn here. But make sure
Daniel was
you
awesome.
you hit her on 2 spots. You got LinkedIn, and you also have
Yeah,
Carla10k.com where you're gonna see all her offers, all her connection spots. So it's a one-stop shop over there. And
yeah.
you
And if
want to
you go to, don't forget the clubhouse too,
hit up
because I've been
directly
in a
here.
couple of rooms that she's in the clubhouse, and there's been
Yes.
some dynamic information. And yeah, I'll be in there with my little notebook cheat sheet. I don't always come up on the stage when the stuff I don't know about. So I'm smart enough to know I sit down in the audience and just write stuff down and take notes. But I've been in some of your rooms where you've had some awesome, put some awesome rooms, some awesome information and stuff that I have taken note to. And it's like, oh yeah, I need that, man. What you waiting on?
And I
Right.
always wanted to say, like, when holidays come up, the year's about to close out, not everybody celebrates the same thing.
Hmm.
So as businesses, or for you as in your business, Carla, how do you address that? What if, like, to avoid I don't know, ruffling feathers?
Ruffling
How do you
feathers.
avoid that situation, but still acknowledge people who might celebrate that? Because I normally don't celebrate a lot of these major holidays. I will recognize them, but I don't always celebrate them. So, how do you do that in your business, especially when you're communicating?
Well, there's two things. Number one, your marketing should attract and repel. And number two, you should stand on your values. So, if I am a Christian, and so sometimes I might sprinkle in some scripture. If that's a problem for someone in my audience, then that's a repel feature, because that I may not be the person for you if that's offensive to you. So
Mhm.
marketing has two jobs: to attract and repel.
I like that.
So if I am going to stand in my truth, then it may offend some people, it may repel some people, and I'm fine with that. And I'm fine when I come across a business owners and the way they communicate or the values they stand on may not align to mine. I'm fine with removing myself. No hard feelings. We just not in alignment. And
Yeah.
so if I want to send out a Merry Christmas post, and you're like, oh, I'm not a Christian, but go ahead and unsubscribe. Blessings on your journey, beloved. you know, I'm fine with that. And that's just the truth of the
Deuces.
matter.
That almost sounds like the southern
Wait.
standard. That means peace, yo. So yes,
Yeah.
I love that.
Deuces.
I love that.
Yeah, because it is that, and finding that and being able to do that and standing that, it is definitely repelled. I like that you use that word because that ain't the word that I thought about when I first thought about that. But keeping it on that sense, because sometimes I sprinkle, yeah, I sprinkle a lot of times spiritual connotations. I don't necessarily just put a chapter and verse in a lot of
Right,
things that I say, but my connotation and my base and foundation is spiritually wide. So when I'm peppering and sprinkling in, that's part of me, and I also use that as definitely a communicative tool to know that okay, you're not one, because I have no problem working with everybody in the
right,
essence of doing work, and it's regardless of whatever you stand for. The ruffle of feathers come from me, especially being as entrepreneur in this industries that I'm in, is the actual alignment. Because a lot of times, if people not aligned with you, that makes for not a good relationship working wise. And I've just experienced that. I've experienced it more times than not on the corporate than I have so far in my entrepreneur. And I think I've been direct and distinct with that. That I didn't allow that. In corporate is kind of different. They're going to take that greenback and they don't really care about that. But I think we can establish ourselves and stand in our brand as what Ebony said, that when you have that, I've had people tell me, yo, man, I like what you're doing. I ain't going to do business with you, dude, but I respect that you're standing on this and you're standing on that. I'm fine with that. I don't have any lost causes. I'm not trying to save souls in essence of what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is I'm standing in who I am so I can be effective to who I need to be. I may
right.
not be that individual for you. You know what I mean? And you might not want to work with somebody that every now and then they're gonna pepper scripture in. You know, tell Charlene sometimes don't be putting that cross up, all the time. No, I'm
Just
just
like
messing with it.
Gary Vee. Gary Vee is a big brand, but some
Yes.
people don't like his language.
Oh, I
And
can't stand it.
he's talked about how some stages he's not allowed on because
Mhm.
of his language. But
Mhm.
he's saying, this is who I am, and I may
Right.
not be for you, but
Right.
there's some people who resonate with me. And that's all of us.
Yeah.
We have to be okay with isolating some people so that we can
Mhm.
get to the core of who our audience is. And so I'm all for it. Like when people unsubscribe, I'm excited. That's just one more person I don't have to worry
They
about.
keep it exactly, and like you
So,
said, they
it's
helping to
something
keep
to
it
do.
lean.
Keep
That's
it
that.
lean and keep it aligned, So,
Exactly.
That's that purge system. I like the purge, and I've bantered back and forth with Gary V. When I first came onto LinkedIn, me and him had subscribed, and I sent him stuff back and forth. But I didn't know about. I knew his name was popular, and I was like, oh, this dude, he accepted my request, so I was excited. And I started following some. So I was like, dude, I can't follow you, man. I'm gonna follow you right down to where I don't belong. And I didn't say that in a bad way. I'm just saying that there's that alignment that he doesn't align with me. And I can't afford to, at least how I think of it in my personal standing, I can afford to co-sign things that I'm not aligned with. Because in the
Mhm.
long run, regardless of whether that may be a financial gain or a temporal gain at that point in time, the longevity of me staying around continually to do what I do, that co-signment is really a death sentence for me. Because then people are going to associate me with, oh yeah, you the dude I saw on Gary V show. And it's not to say that he's doing anything wrong. It's just saying that now I become a co-signer to this application, and
right.
I'm responsible, regardless good or bad, to what goes on with that. And we have to be careful as business entrepreneurs that we don't just like stuff so much that we co-sign for and get us in the mix of that, because everything won't work out well for you. And I've just seen it happen to so many people in the essence of their brands. Then you have to revamp, restart, change around. You know what I'm saying? And it's a horrible thing to have done just because you like it. Because I could like what he does, I could like what he says in certain things, certain areas, but I don't have to attach myself to that. And I think the attachment is really what we want to stand clear of.
Mhm.
Right, and we really saw this play out over the last couple of years with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and
Oh
so we were
yes.
looking at these brands like, where do you stand? Where do
Hmm.
you stand on this issue? Because either I'm going to be in alignment with you or I'm not, and I need to understand where you are in this issue. So yeah, it's okay to be upfront about where you stand, because there's some people who are going to be in agreement and there's some people who are not.
And
Facts.
I like that you brought up Black Lives Matter, because especially as we get ready to close out 2021 and give it that
Yeah.
final wrap up.
Yes.
With that, a lot of people were, I'm gonna say they were stunting, they were fronting, and they were acting like we here for you, but we really not. We here for them dollars, kind of situation.
And so
And
a lot
it
of
was
people got
almost,
caught up.
yeah, it was almost like
Yes.
when you see riots and and people who are not black, they spray black on the store, so they feel like you're not gonna damage it. Yeah, okay. So it was almost like that's what people were using these little black squares for. They wanted to throw that out there with no backing, no say to say, okay, look, not only do we believe this, we're gonna step up and we're making more opportunities. And it wasn't about, oh, we only want to pacify black folks. It was about, are you hearing the conversation? Are you understanding where people are coming from when they're saying Black Lives Matter? Or are you just hearing it and feeling a type of way? Like either you don't want to lose money, you want to feel like you want to be seen now because, oh, this is popular. Because that's another thing. People want to jump into stuff because they feel like oh, this is trending. Let me hashtag
Mhm,
too.
mhm.
No, don't hashtag. If it's trending, watch it from the sidelines
That's
and
it.
stay out of it if that's not where you are really aligned with. So I like that you're saying, be in your truth, stand in it. 10 toes down, as Ebony says. And I
Yeah.
wanted to get into that for when we're starting to go into 2022. A lot of stuff is going to happen. The world continues, even though it's a new year. It's a lot of times the same thing, just a different year. So
Yeah, I'm good
whatever
with Solomon on that one. Ain't nothing new
whatever
under
it is
new
that
under the
you
sun.
whatever it is that you as a business are starting to create as a brand, because those are two totally different things, you want to make sure that you're standing in alignment with your truth. And I just wanted to say before we left, Carla, please let the folks know not only where to connect with you, but what do you have coming up, especially in 2022.
Perfect. So they can find me mostly. I'm on IG and Clubhouse. Clubhouse is my jam. Like we were just saying, make sure you're aligning yourself with the right people on there. You're getting on the right stages, staying out of rooms
Yes.
that are a little bit tricky. Um, So you can find me there. IG is another place I spend a lot of time. I'm gonna start ramping up over here on LinkedIn a little bit more. Um, but it really takes a strategy to figure out what platforms you're gonna spend your time on.
Hmm.
Um, but connect with me on IG. That would probably be the best place. I'm at Bossonly across all the platforms. Bossonly is my brand name, and that's where you can find me for the new year. Oh, girl, I got a lot of things coming up. I'm dropping my podcast, a book, and I'm doing my official launch of the membership. So right now, I'm kind of in a beta phase of the membership. So I have about 10 members right now, and I'm going to be slowly leaking people into that. And then we're doing the official launch in March. And so I want to make automation a a thing that all business owners know about and are taking advantage of. Uh, if you go to these conferences about automation, you don't see a lot of diversity in the room. And I want to bring these conversations to our community and make sure that we are taking advantage of all the tools and technology that is out there and available.
Yeah,
You got
and
to
I
be in
and
the
I
room
love
to
it.
happen.
I love it because I think, especially as Black people, we should not feel afraid to say we're Black. Hello, you see us. We're not going to be afraid to say it. But also, because we are diving into making sure our fellow Black people see us and know that it's possible, they know where to find us. Because when, especially in the tech world, in the tech space, Carla, it's hard to always say, "Oh, here you are. I don't have to keep announcing that you're Black, or I don't have to keep looking for you because you're here. I just bump into you. I see you." Just like with every other space, with women, you bump into women. You don't have to keep announcing it, but they still do. They still say women owned. They still say conferences, we want more women. They still say that. So I want us to not be afraid to still say we need more Black people in this space as well. Just like with Latinos, just like with Asians, I want us to also be comfortable to say that. And 2022, we here. We not going nowhere. We coming in strong and thick.
Yeah, like DMX say, we
'Cause
right here. We
yes, because
ain't
I
going
feel like
anywhere.
a lot of creatives are really making that move. They're making that live
Yes.
stream jump. I can't wait to see Carla do a live stream. I'm just gonna say have a live
Yes,
show.
yes, fine. Yes,
I'm
yes,
gonna put
yes,
that out
yes.
there.
Put that out there.
So with that being said, I want to have Carl. I want you to tell the folks where to find you so we can wrap this up.
Yes, we wrap this up. Thanks everybody for coming out. I always want to appreciate each and every one of our guests, those that have been joining us on the live stream, and those that are going to pick this up on hashtag replay. And you're also going to be able to see it on that website because we still got a phenomenal website, realtalklivepodcast.com. Go check out previous episodes, all the lovely, wonderful people that we've talked to on this past year, this season one, down in the books. Oh man, it is flown by, and I am so excited about all the people that we've met, all the interesting conversations we had, and above everything else, all the gems that was dropped. Oh my God, you could go through every one of our shows and get your own master classes because we had some phenomenal people on giving us their tricks of the trade on how they are making it through. So 2022 is going to bring a lot of excitement. I got a lot of things coming up. I'll be entering into that second phase of 2L in law school. I am so excited. Night law school is killing a brother, but it's going to be worth it after a while. So I'm definitely excited about that. I got two things coming up. I got my vulnerability boot camp coming up in February. I think I'm pushing that launch out for that 30 days of intensive, just understanding who you are doing this vulnerability in leadership. We're going to go with the dynamic leaders. We're going to carry you through that toolkit and help you get fortified into leading with vulnerability in your areas of expertise. And not only that, we got the vulnerability transportation program. Yes, transformation program. I'm talking about transportation. Y'all gonna be going
You
somewhere.
trying to go somewhere? I don't know
Yeah,
where
y'all
you
gonna be
going.
going somewhere. So I could have put that T in there too. But we're transforming. It's gonna be a elusive eight. I think I'm doing 8 weeks. I think I'm gonna keep it at the 8 weeks because a couple people was like, "Yeah, 8 weeks. That's a lot." Yeah, I'm keeping it at 8 weeks because I want you to really get this ingrained and see how embracing your vulnerability can move you forward. We're changing definitely the narrative of what people think about vulnerability. I know you see it in the dictionary, you think of exposure, you think of harm. Yeah, dictionary didn't write all the good stuff that vulnerability breeds, right? It's not
Mhm.
about telling your mama that you grew up as a crackhead on the corners. No, that ain't what vulnerability is about. Vulnerability ain't about putting all the weight on people. It's about being genuine, open, honest, authentic with who you are so you can attract those kind of people and you can kind of set the standards for people interacting with you. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about also, we got a lot of stuff going on in 2022. The Real Talk Live, we are just stepping up the game. We already booked to the middle of February. So we got guests coming on, but we doing some panels that we're going to be talking about as well. We're going to definitely get you booked on. That is where you go, Real Talk Live podcast.com / bookings. Get on the show, bring your expertise, join the panels. Because Carla, we're going to have you on for a panel. We got a couple of panels in the work that we're going to have you on that's going to be showcasing and highlighting your area of expertise where we're going to be doing that where people can get a fullness of. And I just got scheduled today. I just did this morning before the show. I'm going to be doing a 2-day. This is in person. I haven't got all the details, but I want to put it out there because I'm excited about it. I'm going to be doing a 2-day vulnerability workshop in person in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. This is a big spot. It's a big locale. It's a lot of people from the Pennsylvania Chamber of Commerce, and I'm excited about that. A friend of mine who I've been talking to for about 2 years now, he finally was able to niche his way into the VP spot, so he looked out for me. I appreciate people looking out for each other, y'all. I ain't saying that, but I appreciate people looking out for each other, so I'm excited about that. So that's all I got for right now. If I tell y'all any more, my head's gonna explode. Tell them what you got going on, Charlie.
Oh my gosh, I just want to keep it short.
Oh
Y'all
wow,
already
you trying to say I was long?
look. I'm just gonna keep it short and let y'all know to please connect with me here on LinkedIn. And if you know you have a struggle site, your site is not connecting with your website,
Yeah.
it's not connecting with your business, and it's not connecting with your purpose and your brand, then you have a struggle site. So head on over to strugglesite.com so you can get your strategy together because that's what I do. I help people get their strategies together so they're aligning everything. They're not sending out misfiring when they send out those emails like how Carla just brought us through. You're not
Yes.
sending out something random and you didn't even set up your page to do it, or your website don't even speak to what you're emailing people about. And if you need a walkthrough with your strategy, join the Launch Ready Intensive, because that is where I actually will walk through with you to build out a website strategy. So you don't have to do it by yourself. I'll do it with you, and I have my co-peer who is going to help you get the graphics together, and she even got a template for you, Michelle. Michelle is dynamic in this. She's going to get you together with the graphics. I'm going to get you together with the content. And if you need something up in 7 days or less, of course, go to the website rehab. You already seen me on LinkedIn with Rob Berry. We've actually gone through and done some breakdowns and help people get things
Clubhouse as well.
updated quickly, even on Clubhouse. I've
Mhm.
been on Clubhouse doing this since last year, doing website audits. So now it's your time to do the one-on-ones with myself, Rob, and we're gonna do it in a group session, but you actually get us live. It's not pre-recorded. You're gonna get us live to sit down and talk you through what is wrong, what can you do, and how to get it done. So you're not sitting there spinning your wheels. You're gonna get it up, running, and out. So that's our whole
Yes.
purpose. That's the end of the show. I want to thank you all, and look out because my site is getting revamped. So trust me, everything that we just talked about, you about to see on my site with a little tweak, because I am the brand misfit. So you're gonna see that. You're gonna see all my misfitness out there.
Misfits, fits, fits, this.
So thank you all for coming through. I appreciate you as always. Carl appreciates you. And Carla,
Yes.
thank you so, so, so much, because without you, we would not have had another amazing show.
Another amazing
And
show.
I appreciate you for everything.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. We see you guys on the other side, 2022. You have a happy holiday seasons, whichever way you celebrate, do it safely and protect yourself safely. I don't want to scare anybody, but we're still in the virus state. So make sure that you're keeping yourself safe. Those that you're visiting during this holiday season, look about and think about them. So make sure that you do that. So we want to see you back here at 2022 in January. I think that first Tuesday in January, I think, which is the third, I think third or fourth. We want to see you here and we want to see you happy and ready to kick it off for 2022. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.